Using Callable statement. So far, we have discussed about a statement and prepared statement. In this lesson, we will discuss about the usage of stored procedures in JDBC using the Callable statement. The Callable statement interface extends the prepared statement, and it is used for executing stored procedures in a database from a Java program. First, we will see how to create these stored procedures. We can create the stored procedure using the JDBC applications. Consider an employee table as an example which contains the first name, last name, employee ID, salary, phone number, and department as the fields. Now we will write a stored procedure named emp_info, which retrieves the first name and the last name for the given employee ID from the employee table. Here are the codes for creating a stored procedure. This is the query string that creates a procedure, and employee info is the name of the procedure. Employee ID is a in parameter, and it has the JDBC type integer. Likewise, fname and lname are the out parameters that have the JDBC type varchar. Here we are using the keyboard output to represent the out parameters. Once we wrote the procedure, we can create a statement object and execute the codes using that object. Before creating a statement, let's have a look at how to create a callable statement for calling the stored procedure. A callable statement is obtained by calling the prepareCall method of a connection object. Here is the general form for invoking a stored procedure in JDBC. In this, the square brackets indicate that the parameters inside them are optional. The question mark acts as the placeholders for in parameters, as we discussed earlier. Here is the syntax for a stored procedure that returns a result parameter. In this form, the first placeholder indicates the result parameter. The general form for a stored procedure with no parameters would be like this. Here, the placeholders may be in, out, or in-out parameters, depending on the stored procedure. Let's look at these parameters. In. These type of parameters refer to the arguments or parameters passed to a stored procedure. Out. These types of parameters refer to the return values of a stored procedure. In-out. These types of parameters combine the functionality of in and out parameters. The in-out parameter allows us to pass a parameter to the stored procedure, and at the same time, it is also used to store a return value of a stored procedure. In case of using the in-out parameter, for example, the parameter's Java type is int, it should use the method setInt to assign the input value and supply a JDBC type integer to the method registerOut parameter, and should use getInt method to retrieve the output value. Till now, we have seen the three general forms of calling the stored procedure. Let's discuss an example in which we call the created stored procedure. In this example, we use one in parameter, employee ID, and two out parameters, first name and last name, and con is the connection object. By using the above code, we are passing the 0134 for employee ID as in parameter to retrieve the first and last name. After that, we set the JDBC type varchar to the second and third placeholders. Then, we execute the query and finally retrieve those values using the getString method and print those names. While using the callable statement, the code doesn't need to be compiled. Also, a programmer can code the procedure natively on the database by taking the advantage of database-specific APIs, and compile the procedure that makes ready for use. So the performance has been improved here.